Okay. Okay. We're gonna... Ooh, oh, that is very... Dude, why is my hair looking like that? It's looking really interesting. Yo, everybody. Welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about Seattle, my trip to Seattle. Very fun experience. I would say it's one of the top 5 places that I've been. As far as, I'm not sure exactly. I think it's more experience than anything else. But let's talk about it here. So if you're new here, I did a video of my first time in New York, and you can go check that out. Very interesting video. We went on a helicopter. We almost took this really expensive ring. We went all throughout New York. But very interesting. So Seattle was actually before New York. Probably about, I want to say, probably about 15 days before New York. So they're not that far away as far as when they happened. So let's get started here. Special shout out to Nick Braun, or actually, now that I think about it, he didn't give me a name to give him. All right, so we start off at King Station, Seattle, probably about 10 a.m. in the morning, maybe 7 a.m. in the morning. And so previously, before this, I had taken a 2-day train from the Midwest all the way to Seattle. So yeah, this was my first time. And so so you come out of King Station, and I remember being super disoriented. I was like, where the heck am I? So I remember, well, the first thing that I had to do, of course, is record. So I was recording the time, and that was kind of wasting my time because I was recording more than I was like actually finding out where things were. So I went up these stairs and I found my way onto like the main road, and or like the main road by the bus station. So I was by the bus station. They had these cool like futuristic, kind of futuristic like areas where you could buy the bus passes. So I bought a Orca card real quick, and those were like $10 maybe for the transit system. And so that's what the Orca card is. I didn't realize that they actually mailed the Orca cards to you. So I found that out about a month later when I got an Orca card in the mail, or a couple months later, like maybe 3 months later, I actually got an Orca card, and I was like super mad. I was like, I just spent $10 and whatever. But I found out later on, like a few minutes later, that the buses actually were free. So that happened. So as much as possible, this was the first city I was in, so I wasn't trying to spend a lot of money. However, I kind of did spend a little bit of money. And so I took an Uber because I went to the bus station, I went on the bus, and the place where I was staying, the place that I had my Airbnb, was like probably 30 minutes out of the center of Seattle, over by the bus station. So I took a bus south, and I didn't know how to transfer yet, so I went all the way down, and the final bus place is by the airport. So I was over by the airport, and I had no idea. There wasn't really any buses to go anywhere. So what I did is I just hopped in an Uber. Now at the time I was like, I don't know what I was thinking, but I was really close to, however, I looked really odd because I believe I had 3 bags with me. One for food, one for clothes, and then one just for random stuff that I brought along. So I was basically looking like a hobo walking up the hills there. And I definitely looked suspicious. So kind of the unique thing about this, there were a lot of unique things and experiences in this Airbnb, but they named their rooms. So they had 3 different rooms. They named them different cities. So I was in Paris, which was like the one straight down the hall. And so I got in there. I got like the keypad open and whatnot. And I don't think the guy was in there. The owner was in there, but he definitely came through a few times. And I was like, bro, bro, are you trying to rob us? But so I was in this Paris room, and it was pretty small. It was decent size, but nothing too crazy. But immediately outside, you could see that there was a window, and this was like the only window, and the outside, and it was super thin, and it was like the only thing between me and the outside, and it was just like really thin walls, and I was like, whoa. I was like, whoa. And we were on the first floor. It was like a one level house. So immediately after I got my stuff down, I was like, okay, I'm tired. So I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna figure out what's around here, try and use the most of my time there. And so almost immediately, I was like, I want to go running, because I had been running probably about 5 to 10 miles per day. So, I mean, my feet were on fire. I really needed to run. I needed to get out, because I was in a train for about 2 days with just like leg room and, looking at cool stuff, but not really having any fresh air. I was also required to wear a mask during that time, a lot of that time. Some states were a little bit different, but So what I did is I searched on Google different parks in the area, and I found the one park that was like 30 minutes away walking. So I was like, okay, let's do that. So I went straight to that one, and it was probably the best decision that I ever made, because it was a little bit hike upward and a little hike downwards. But I reached the shoreline, and the shoreline was absolutely amazing. I didn't bring my camera. I just brought my phone, and it was just absolutely amazing. I really wish I took more photos, but when I wasn't taking photos, I was like, wow, this is really cool. I don't want to take photos. I just want to enjoy this. And I was just on the beach. And I believe I was running there as well. So I was basically running on the side of the, so after that, after looking at that amazing view, I was like super hungry. So immediately I went to the supermarket. So the supermarket there is Safeway, and I didn't know that beforehand. I was kind of surprised that there wasn't anything else, but Safeway, I went to Safeway. I quickly made an account inside so that I could get the discounts. Highly recommend doing that, or researching beforehand to get the discounts, because I know I did that in North Carolina where my discounts work there. Really cool. So I probably had 2 or 3 bags that I brought of groceries. I was like, I'm super hungry. I can finally eat non-dry food. So I stuffed up. When I tell you I stuffed up, I stuffed up. So I went back to the Airbnb, and I actually think I walked that whole way. So that was probably about a mile, half a mile or less, with 3 bags. So it was very interesting looking like that. But literally, okay, I want to say I did meet some people along the way of that trail that it was like, most people were pretty nice. And I was kind of like, I didn't really know anything really there. So it was interesting. So, okay. So I go back to the Airbnb, and I start cooking, I start making some stuff. I start getting my oatmeal out, putting my stuff in the fridge, my OJ in the fridge, and I was gonna say roommate, but my Airbnb Bud comes out, and he's like, hey, what's up? So, and we kind of just like introduced ourselves and where we were from. So I said I was from Wisconsin. I'm like, I'm from Wisconsin. Where are you from? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm from Switzerland. And I was like, Switzerland? That's crazy. So apparently this man was from Switzerland, but he came from Canada, and he was vacationing in Canada when shit broke loose during the COVID pandemic. And so basically what he explained to me is he was just staying in the United States because he got stuck here in Seattle, and his wife was actually trying to cross the border, but couldn't cross the border for some reason. So he was kind of stuck in the United States right now. And I'm not exactly sure the full story there, but it just sounded like he was stuck in that moment. So that was interesting. I met somebody from Switzerland there. So later on that night, where everybody's going to sleep, it's late, it's probably like 10 or 11 o'clock. And all of a sudden you hear the door open. I'm like, okay, what is that? And this couple comes in. And I think I'm still like walking around, wandering around in the house. And this couple comes in real late. So, I didn't think anything of it really. Did I meet them? I don't think I met them beforehand. Maybe I did meet them. I don't remember. One of the other. So I was going to sleep, I was planning my day for tomorrow, seeing where I was going to go for pictures, see if I could go downtown and whatnot. And I was planning on waking up early, probably like 7 o'clock. And this couple, man, dude, they were really loud in the night. So that happened, and the funniest thing is that they were in the room directly next to me, and they were very loud. They were probably hitting my wall. I don't think my bed was against the wall, but it was pretty close. So it was interesting. So the next morning, I took a bus downtown, and I got ready. I saw all the commuters get ready for work and whatnot, and there I was. Wait, I don't even think I had any bags, so I was fine. But I did have my regular bags, or maybe one bag, early in the morning, and it was already raining. So I was like, okay, it's already raining here. So I get downtown, and I was trying to go to this one specific spot, and I did get there. But it kind of looked really ugly because of the clouds, and I was kind of bummed out. But before we got there, I had a bunch of weird interactions with people. So literally it was like GTA. People would just come up and say random words to me, and I would be like, what are you saying, bro? I have no idea what you're saying. And then there was this one guy that I looked up for 1 second, looked at him, and I don't even think I was looking at him in the eyes, and he just immediately went off, and he was ready to fight. And I was like, okay, well, we're getting out of downtown area. And this was in the midday, and I was just confused, and there was just random people walking and not paying attention really. And it was just an odd experience. I have never felt that in Madison before. So I went to a couple different areas that day, but I remember going up this one hill, and every time I go on a bus now, I'm not afraid anymore to stand up or move around in a bus, because I know that it's not going to be as hilly as Seattle, because I absolutely lost my shit in Seattle, dude. I literally hurt my back for at least 4 or 5 days. Because I thought the bus was steady, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna get up at this stop sign, and I get up, and immediately, the bus is like this. The bus is literally like this, and I fall all the way backwards. I'm like, oh shit! I went a good portion of the way off the bus. I literally fell off the bus, and dude, just absolutely crazy. So the next morning I woke up, I had already been around Seattle a little bit, quite a bit, and I looked at the time, and then the owner was in there, and he was rustling around and stuff, and I believe I woke up, got some food, and the guy was rustling around, and so were the other people, and I realized that my Airbnb was actually up that day. So the man was going to charge I think $20 extra for being there any later than 9 o'clock, and he was kind of just hovering around. So I got all my shit packed like almost immediately and got a shower in and was ready to go. And I was about to go out the door as well, and I remember having like the several bags of groceries that I bought, and I remember getting the stuff out of the freezer and whatnot, and I don't know what happened because I left at least two bags of good food, and that was like meat and really good stuff, and I left that in the Airbnb. So I left all my food in the Airbnb, and I didn't have a place to stay for the day. Frustrating. The next thing I did is I had like probably 4 bags now, one with my groceries, one with my camera stuff and other stuff, and then 1 clothes, and then 1 more food. So with all of that, I brought onto the bus, and I literally looked like a hobo. I think I brought a book as well, so I was like reading. I was the only one reading on there as well. And I was going and I was booking new places, trying to book a new place. So I booked a new place on the bus ride. So the bus ride was like 45 minutes. I had no idea where I was going. And it turns out I ended up near Seattle, Washington University. And so it took a little bit to find the place, but I needed to set my stuff because I literally could not move anywhere. So I went to this Airbnb, and it was like right near the highway, so you could hear the highway, and it was weird. It was very weird vibes. So hopefully you guys have had some fun with this travel experience, my travel experience. Laughed a little bit, seen what I could have done better, and yeah, I will be back in another video for Seattle in a little bit. Alright, yeah.
Oh, you're walking with me?
Yeah, or I'm just, yeah. Okay, so I have the ND filter, like, the thing that holds the filter in, but I don't know where I put the actual blocks of glass. So, yeah, but I found one of my old lenses, which is pretty cool.